Welcome to News with a View, hosted by me, John A. Costa. Today is February 4th, 2026, and this is episode 24. A little side note, 46 years ago is when I started my career at CBS television in New York. And it's been quite a ride. I started off with some people I still stay in contact with today. So you build a bond. We might not be on the same wavelength politically, but as friends, yeah, we connect. All right, today, it just boggles my mind why Democrats are taking the position they're taking. And what I'm talking about, they continue to make threats of violence against federal agents. The latest numbskull Democrat, Jerry Nadler out of New York, congressman, argued Americans would be justified shooting ICE agents if they believed they were masked hoodlums attacking them and not one of the government's goons, as he put it. How ridiculous. And I'll go in what happened to someone who shot a person who was attacking them. And let's see how that worked out for the person on Stand Your Ground in New York. What Jerry and all the Democrats failed to point out to the public is they failed to mention that the so-called goons, a word used by the Democrats to describe a legal federal agency, that these goons arrested 147,000 illegals in 2024 under the Biden administration, and under the Obama administration had the greatest number of deportations under ICE of any president. Were they goons then? I didn't hear Nadler or other people that have been in power that far back to call ICE goons or Nazis or fascists or racists. These are the lies and the misrepresentation that the Democrats are hinging everything on. And they're going to be called out on this because if this idiot can see it, a lot of smarter people are seeing it and will be reporting it. The only people that a Nadler, a Mays, a district attorney, Krasner, makes and spellbounds are the people that already drank the Kool-Aid for them. And they will just follow them no matter what. Everything that these people say to their followers or cult, they believe. Now, Nadler made this comment, and eyebrow raising, like, what? What did he say? A statement during a House Judiciary Committee hearing on Tuesday. Now, he's retiring. He's not seeking office again. He announced his retirement, and it will be filled by another Democrat that will come out of the same cookie cutter mix. But actually, the next Democrat will be even more radicalized than Nadler. Now, Nadler controlled Brooklyn. His district, nothing could be built, nothing could be added without Nadler giving a nod. And how did that nod happen a lot of times? Donations. His comment about the shooting of ICE agents by the general public. This echoes Chris May's Arizona Attorney General, who stated that ICE agents on private property could be justifiably shot. Yeah. These are elected officials, sworn to follow the Constitution of the United States and its laws. And justifying them to say, well, let me tell you, from a legal point of view, if you saw an ICE agent with a mask and you didn't realize they were an ICE agent because they just might have a police logo on them, but they have all their other packs. But you don't know this because you don't know. Maybe you don't read. And even though they say police or ICE agent, you don't believe them and you shoot them. Well, you'll be justified. This is the rhetoric that is so dangerous, not only to ICE agents, but to the low IQ followers of the Progressive Party that think, if we tell you to drive a car into an agent or bang them or block them or do this, yeah, go ahead, do it. It's your right. You never tell them they'll be shot. And these lower IQ, mentally impaired people, and I say this because Good, who got shot in a car, was a mentally impaired person who couldn't figure out what a woman is. And here she is listening to these people who say, yeah, drive your car. Do that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. They all clap from the side. And then when she's shot, they clap even louder. Because they got a low person IQ with mental problems to sacrifice themselves for their cause. Philadelphia DA Larry Krasner said he would hunt down ICE agents as if they were Nazis. What did we do to the Nazis that we had to hunt down in Germany? We hung them. This is what Krasner is saying out of Pennsylvania. You don't think this is going to come back and bite Shapiro when he tries to run? And there's pictures of him standing right next to this guy? You think that Shapiro is going to be able to just shrug that off? and that Shapiro isn't going to make some stupid remark. You wait and see. You wait and see. Because no one's hands can be cleaned or cleansed that are around these people. They are a loaded toilet bowl just spinning around. And if these politicians think they could stick their hand in that toilet and not come out full of it, they got another thing coming. Americans, both Democrats and Republicans, are frustrated by these comments and threats. Moderate Democrats are all for immigration reform and our laws that are on the books right now being enforced. How many Democrats were cheated and robbed in Minnesota, in California, in Portland, in Oregon, in the state of Washington, in Illinois, in Wisconsin? How many Democrats there had money taken out of their pocket and just thrown to the wind? Hard-working Americans whose money has been taken from them and misused knowingly. This is going to be the battle cry of the GOP very, very soon. The Democrats are not going to be able to wipe their hands clean after sticking it in the toilet. And they'll be saying, oh, but that happens in Republicans, you could play whataboutism all you want. All the American voters are going to see, we caught you. Right now, in this time, we caught you. And you have these statisticians for the Democrats going out there, we're going to win. You had a House seat because someone died and they filled it and they ran a, mock election. No one was going to go out there and fight for it until 2026. And that is going to be a wake-up call. And we're going to have to address that aggressively, and will. The media is filled with this hate speech of politicians and Hollywood types too. Kathy Griffin, who came out last week and said, you should spy on your neighbors and find out if they're MAGA so we could take actions against them. Nazi fascist tactic. She wants an elephant with an M on it sewn on your clothes so everyone knows you're a MAGA. And don't go to your store. Don't go to your business. Or we'll come after you too. Right, Kathy? Putting the thought of being able to shoot an ICE agent and using stand your ground laws as a defense is dangerous to ICE agents and, of course, the public. A retiree was sentenced to prison in New York City earlier this month for criminal possession of a weapon after he used a firearm to defend himself from a violent career criminal. Charles Forner, 67, was accosted by Cody Gonzalez, 32, in the early morning hours of May 31st, 2023. And this is according to a news release from the Queens District Attorney, Melinda Katz. Forner fatally shot the assailant, a 15-time career criminal, with a handgun he had in his pocket, per a report from Blaze Media. Katz did not charge Forner with homicide or manslaughter since the case was a clear example of self-defense. Forner used a non-registered gun and had other weapons in his house that did not meet New York State criteria for you to own. He had no criminal record, never had a problem with the police, never had any interaction, but he had a handgun that was used that was not registered, and he was not allowed to be carrying that weapon. Had he not been carrying that weapon, there's a very good possibility that he would have been killed by the assailant. So, he's gone away to prison for years for protecting himself, for not picking up a bat and hitting him over the head. For using what he had on him. And you're having Nadler saying, oh no, you'd be justified. You will not be justified. Because ICE agents have police on their thing, and you can make all the excuses that go, ICE isn't really police. You can't shoot the police. You can't when they're carrying out a legal warrant or even a warrantless stop. You can't do it. There are rules, and I'll get into this a little bit later, what ICE can and cannot do without a judicial warrant. You have Senator Chuck Schumer screaming this week that a voter ID system is racist and will bring back Jim Crow laws, trying to agitate black voters. How utterly off the sanity rails are these Democrats going to go? How far further off the sanity rails? So we have to be prepared to answer these delusional outbursts with facts. Because most people will respond to facts. 28% of the Democrats will not listen to facts. They just won't do it. 28% of Republicans will not listen to facts. They just won't do it. And both sides know this. My daddy voted red, I'm voting red. My daddy voted blue, I'm voting blue. just the way it is. You can count on that. But the other voters can be swayed with facts and not rhetoric. Democratic Senator Chris Murphy says his party should not tone down the rhetoric against ICE agents after shootings. This is showing you that there is no solid leadership in the DNC. And everyone is just going out on their own type of thing and just shooting from the hip. All this stuff will come back to haunt them. And it just won't be, they'll use this guy, Chris Murphy, from Connecticut, about someone running in Indiana, and go, this is their marching orders. This guy didn't say it, but he will follow it when he is told to, just like this guy did. Is that what you want? Or are you going to elect someone that uses common sense and follows the law? Wait and see what's coming, Democrats, in the commercials and political ads. You thought, and many of you have no idea, if you're under 40, 45, Tricky Dicky, you thought he was bad? You ain't seen nothing yet. Just months ago, we had 6 House members tell our military not to follow illegal orders, suggesting to America that the military command from the president on down was ordering our military to act illegally. Now, these people are all upset because they're under investigation. With astronaut boy in trouble. So, looking at ICE, and ICE enforcement has reached a critical status for many small businesses that pay illegals undocumented income, while many of these illegals are collecting state and federal assistance already. So they're being paid under the books, they're not showing up on the books, they're just paying them. Dishwashers, waiters, cooks, produce drivers. And now illegals are not going to work and are staying inside while ICE agents are in many of their towns and cities. Many small businesses have ceased operations while ICE is carrying out its duties. And I said before, I'd get into ICE can enter a public area of anywhere, a business, a cut-through courtyard, a basketball court, anywhere, as long as it's a public area. And conduct a raid and search for illegals. But can't, without a warrant, enter private areas of a business or home. Now, there's some contradiction on that, and ICE has told them that you could use a administrative warrant to enter someone's home. And there are people arguing, no, you can only do that with a judicial warrant. And you could look up the difference between an administrative and judicial, but keeping it real simple, an administrative agent will just sign it and anyone can do it. any administrator inside that organization can sign it. And while a judicial has to go through a court or a court's clerk. So one is a civil arm and the other one is a criminal arm. But there is ICE saying we can enter a home, knock and enter, while there are many people saying, yeah, that's not the case. You need a judicial warrant to come into a home. I'm a believer that you need a judicial warrant to forcefully enter a home. I'm a believer that your home is your castle. And you have an expectation of privacy while in your home. And a certain amount of protection from people coming into that home. And that's what the Fourth Amendment really protects. So and I said I am fair. I look at the book, and I'm saying I don't think an administrative warrant grants you that. But they can just go into a private area of a business where the public has access to. So the basis of that search can only happen in the private area, in the public area. If they want to go into a private area, let's say like the back office or the receiving area where the public is not allowed to go into, they can't go back there unless they're given permission by someone that's in charge of that business. So now, if while ICE is in there and they in the public area, they find a stock shelf, stocker, and they're questioning him, and this person then flees and runs into that private area, you bet, you might be betting your life that ICE agents can follow him in there. And then once in there, things in plain sight. They catch the guy and there's other people in there. Hey, you. They're in. Because they had probable cause to go in there and then, oh, look at here. More. And that can be done. Now, if an ICE agent has a judicial warrant, they can arrest any person listed on that said warrant in their home or anywhere. Doesn't matter. There's a warrant out for your arrest, signed by a court. You're coming with us. And arrest any person who hinders ICE in their duties with or without a warrant if ICE is in the process of making an arrest. So if I'm outside and I'm arresting Pedro or Svensson, and you come up and try to stop me, or you get on that other guy and you're pulling him to try to get him away from me, you get arrested too. The guy being arrested, if there's just an administrative warrant or it's warrantless, it's a civil penalty. The guy who interferes with me, yeah, that's a felony. Much difference. You're going to have a bad day. So you have all these Democrats out there screaming for, yeah, you could shoot ICE. You could shoot them, and you might be justifiable. Putting those thoughts into low IQ people, cult members. They should be called out on that. And I know it won't happen, but if I saw Jerry Nadler somewhere talking, I might yell out to him, "Hey, Jerry, explain about how you could shoot people. How you could shoot ICE agents, Jerry." Jerry, tell these people how they can get away with shooting an ICE agent. And that's all I'd be asking him the whole time. And he could go, "Well, I've explained it. Explain it again. Should be easy for you now. If this is the 50th time you did it, make it 51. And if you do not believe that that is not going to be the foundation of the Republican mantra, and if the Republicans don't use that mantra, shame on them, and they deserve to lose. But I know what's coming down the line. And it is going to ratchet up for the Democrats. A federal judge has blocked the Trump administration from ending temporary protection status for the Haitians. And remember, that expired yesterday. A decision that would impact about 350,000 people who currently live and work in the United States. And they do. They live, they work, they might be on public assistance, who knows. But they're here. The ruling issued by a federal judge in Washington, D.C. blocks the termination of TPS, at least for now, allowing Haitians currently protected under the program to continue living and working legally in the United States. Absolute truth. Now, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem argued that conditions in Haiti is no longer justify their protection, alleging that extending TPS contradicts U.S. interest. Well, people go, "Well, Haiti's horrible right now." Horrible. Terrible. Well, let's see what they were given TPS protection for. TPS designation, which allows individuals to live and work here legally, in the case of the Haitians, was initially granted following a 2010 earthquake. So, 16 years ago, they had an earthquake in Haiti. You don't think buildings are back up and running and working? I'm sure some are not. But 16 years, they're going to lose this case. They're going to lose this case because they came over for an earthquake. You could say, well, now that now it's dangerous. They have gangs. They have this. What did they come over for? That's it. That's it. And they're going to lose that. And they'll be crying. And they'll be saying, "You're sending these people to certain death." And the Haitian communities will be upset. I get it. I get it. Now, if these Haitians that were under TPS and in the course of that 16 years are in the process of becoming citizens, then I think that should be warranted action. Let's see what the status then is of them while they're attempting to get their green cards. But I don't think that's going to work for them. I think if they went to do it today, they'd be saying, no, yeah, you can try, but that's not going to protect you because you had 16 years prior to this of applying, and they'll turn around and they'll ask one of them, when you were given TPS, what did they say? Well, we left because of the earthquake and things were bad there. All right. When you say bad, well, buildings and stuff, well, the buildings have been restructured. I'm almost certain that the $300 million that the Clintons raised for them found its way to help the Haitians, right? Right? So they were given help. They were given buildings. They were giving protection. They were doing. Time to go. Temporary. I don't know what that means in your language, but here it means not forever. All right. With that, I'm going to finish it up. I got plenty to do. This will not go out until about 4:30, 5 o'clock this evening. Right now, it's a live, and I do it live. Very few people watch it live. But by doing it live, I have a recording because if my switcher decides not to work, then I've done all this for nothing. And right now, everything seems to be working all right. But by having it in my video side, then I can take it and edit it, and you'll see the edited where I have all my little sayings up here. And please become a subscriber. I need subscribers. It's getting there, and I'm doing all right. I'm happy. I got a lot of views. My shorts get a lot of views. People can only take me for about, 3 minutes, and that's it. All right. Please give to a charity if you can. But I can understand your reluctance to do it. Then think about giving to a food bank. They always need food. They also need money so that they could help immediately a situation that is facing them. Say a prayer. Prayer does work, regardless of what any Democrat will tell you. And with that, everyone be safe, be happy, hug a loved one, call someone you haven't spoken to in a while, because we are all temporary. All right. With that, I'm going to say bye as I fade to black.